Hey guys, it's Courtney,
And legs.
and you're listening to The Pleasure is All Yours. We are here to encourage sexual liberation in the Black queer community. This is a space where we, as Black women, Black queer femme women, can just learn, talk, and enjoy the conversation of everything pleasure. Today we have our very first guest on the pod. I'm so excited to introduce you. Go ahead and introduce yourself, actually.
Hi guys, I'm Dee, also known as ghosdee. I'm an artist, YouTuber, all around fun person. I met you guys when I was living in Texas actually, but I currently live in New York.
Part of the little Arlington scene.
Yeah, the little cute Arlington scene over there. Yes. It's kind of how I got my start in like networking and like music, so I have to owe Arlington and everybody just in that scene to really helped me get my start there.
Love it.
So how are you liking New York?
I love it. It's taken some time because I moved right before the pandemic. So it's not like I entered New York as New York. I entered into some shit and spent like my whole first year basically indoors. But over the time I've gotten more acquainted and I've fallen more in love with the city, and I just feel like this is like where I'm meant to be. And I can't say I've ever felt that way about anywhere I've lived, and I lived in a lot of places. Yeah. I just enjoy it. I love my neighborhood. I love the people. The people here are just so different. They're just so different. And I just really enjoyed my experiences here so far.
Do you have a favorite thing about the city?
My favorite thing about the city, okay, I guess there's a couple of things. I'll name two. I love that you're literally just a walk away from adventure. Like, there's adventure in every corner. You don't have to pay much for it. Well, I guess rent is, the cost of living, right? But and I love the art scene here. I love it. It's so big. It's actually a lot easier to network here than it was in Texas, because there's just so much, and everybody is trying to find their own space. There's so many odd, specific spaces that everybody can find their own little like inclusion, and I'm really big on like the community culture here. Like, it's big to support one another, actually support one another, and like
Not
mutual aid, and like exactly like neighborhood cultures here is real here. So like people just looking out for each other and like supporting each other's events and building a real community, like that happened really fast for me here, and I wasn't expecting that, but it's because everybody's looking to do that here.
I love that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I love that.
There's not so much of a crabs in a bucket mentality that there is here in Dallas, because it just seems like there's more opportunity, so you don't have to fight so hard for the 6 opportunities that are in the city on a given weekend.
And I'm sure like there are several like places in the city that are like that, especially in Manhattan, because Manhattan has more of a class mentality over there. There's more money over there versus Brooklyn, because Brooklyn is just a place full of lost souls, honestly. But Manhattan is a little bit different. You don't have to be exposed to that. You can like bypass that and still make a way and like tour, do your own thing, and like make decent money on your own art and your own music. And so you don't really have to deal with the clickiness of the industry and the bullshit, because it's there. It's all in Manhattan. It's, the Met Gala happens in Manhattan, so that bullshit is here. It's just like you're not forced into it, because people here recognize that like art, be it music or film or whatever, it's all about just getting together, being happy, creating love. And if we need to support ourselves off of it, obviously that's the goal, but we're not gonna like cut throat out of it and like make it the main thing to have all this money and all these accolades,
Yeah, absolutely. I love that for you. It feels like a great place to just grow as an artist and grow as a person, especially like away from your the original support system that you had. Yeah. Well, awesome. What is your pronoun, so that we make sure that we acknowledge you as such?
She, her, right now.
Okay, fabulous.
It's always a right now kind of thing, because gender, what is that shit anyway?
What is gender?
What am I? I look in the mirror all the time. What am I?
I have no clue.
So we like to start every episode with a fun fact, as you know. So I have 2 for today, and I tried to keep them like cinema based. Just to keep it with the theme of our episode, because today we'll be talking all about movies, trying to stay in the queer space of movies, but also like the blurred lines that happen like when cults or like groups of people kind of take movies and like make them our movies.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
So the fun fact for today is that there's actually a job in the film and TV industry called an intimacy coordinator that helps with the choreography of sex scenes. And I fucking love this. I feel like I could actually like make a lateral move here, or is that what a lateral move from my position where I do now, because I'm a coordinator. So, and I feel like I'm pretty I'm pretty knowledgeable about sex, so I'm gonna pad up this resume a little bit. Say I got an OnlyFans. I don't know what like kind of qualifications you need to be an intimacy coordinator. You're probably like a sex therapist or like a sex educator or something like that. But
probably along the lines. Also, because it's like film or TV, you might just need to know somebody.
Fucking facts. Yeah, all about getting your foot in the door.
Yeah.
So if anybody is ever interested in a career in TV and film, that sounds fucking fun, because you get to like.
What is the like? So they're basically the choreographer for the.
Yes. So what they do is they talk to the writers, they talk to the producers.
Okay.
Then they separately, like they mentioned very specifically that it is separate. They talk to the actors that are already assigned to the roles, and they say, what are you comfortable with and what do you not want? So they get a list of like what actors are willing to show breasts or genitals, what actors are willing to do different positions, all of that stuff. And then they go back to the producers and the writers and they say, this is what we're comfortable with. We need to make the scene around this. And then they'll help basically outline what the shots are going to look like, how long, who is going to be on the set, because a lot of times it's a closed set. So they'll have the director, the intimacy coordinator, the actors, and then whoever's doing like bare minimum lights and sound, so that everybody feels comfortable in that position. So it probably
also takes like film knowledge. It's probably like a specific film era too, because like you have to have like knowledge of filming sex and what will look good according to the film, the scene, the actors. I like that. That's really cool. There's literally a job for every skill.
Everything.
I want to be the person that makes the sound effects in the background.
Yes, folio artist.
Yeah.
What is it called?
It's called folio artistry. They're
Artistry.
folio artists. I learned that in like my playwriting class.
Yes, I love it. I literally saw some video of this. I think we were watching it together when I was scrolling on TikTok, and it's like this lady and like this like it's like a squeaky chair, and she has like a pillow and like some sheets, and she's literally
she's making the sex
rocking on the chair. I'm like, whoa, this sounds like so fun. Or the bitch that's like walking really slow in heels.
Yes.
I'm like, this seems like fun money.
It's
That's
so
what it seems
random
like.
too. Like I know lettuce head is used a lot, like smashing to make like a big like crushing noise.
Wow.
Yeah, it's always such random objects.
Yes,
Yeah,
so interesting.
Just to make sound effects. Yeah.
I could watch those videos for like ever.
It's like ASMR.
Yes, exactly. Amazing.
The more you know, truly.
This one is definitely just a fun fact that nobody else ever asked for, but I'm excited to give it to you guys.
We love a 2-for-1.
In Antichrist, which I'm not sure if you've seen because it's a horror movie.
It's on my list. It's been on my list for a long time.
Okay.
I love William Dafoe. I just hear that it's kind of like a slow burn, so I like to take my time with those sometimes.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Okay, so then William Dafoe, you already know about him. Apparently his dick is being shown in this film. And they said...
Have you seen the cover?
No.
The cover of the film, he's like fucking something. It's like his back. It's like missionary on like some shit.
Oh my God.
wow.
So is this is like a very sexually undertoned movie?
I guess so. I mean, I don't know much about it, but like that is definitely the cover of it.
Oh my God, hold up.
What movie is
It's
it?
called Antichrist.
I'm gonna look.
Yeah, look it up, read us the synopsis. But the fun fact is that William Dafoe's dick was so big that they actually couldn't like use it on screen because it was just so meaty and so graphic. So
Not a meaty graphic.
oh shit!
Oh wow.
Oh, shit.
Okay, yeah.
Whoa.
That's something.
He's having
That's
sex with
so
a tree.
funny.
Okay, so it's William Dafoe. It's just his back, and it looks like he's fornicating with things that are coming into the shape of a tree.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like to me.
Like some hands. Like there's hands coming out of
Oh,
the
I
tree.
see. Yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's
There's
a lot.
hands everywhere. Yeah.
Well,
Movie night.
yeah. So they used a dong double for him, and they actually
Not
had to
a
get
dong double.
They had to get a smaller dick. Well, that's really crazy. Like, I wonder what
Not
that
a
stunt
white
double
man
felt.
with such a big dick.
Maybe he should be doing Clone of Willy's and like selling it as like fan memorabilia.
Willie's Willie.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I love that.
That works.
Ideas. Hey, William Dafoe, hit us
Get
up.
on it.
Yeah.
We'd love to get a clone of your dick.
Yeah, honestly. Willie's. Let's brand it.
Okay, so that's the fun facts for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that somebody's able to actually Google and find a picture of William Dafoe's actual penis with his permission.
Yes.
If it's already online, I hope it's with his permission, because we don't do revenge porn over here.
No.
Okay, so as we go into Sex and Cinema, D, I just really want you to get comfortable with us. And so I set up a few like this or that's as an icebreaker. If you follow us on Instagram, we do our this or that every Thursday. So you can go and vote. And we just love to learn more about the kinks and the enjoyments. I don't know the word of
They're
our audiences.
so cute, by the way. I love the interactions with your page.
Yes.
I'm like, you guys are killing it in the marketing game. Usually
love
I'm so
it.
unimpressed because I'm like, oh, influencers are so annoying. They make basic TikToks. And then you guys come on the scene and you're like, we're creative podcasters and we're going to actually like build an audience and be interactive with them in ways that make sense in a very intentional way. Yeah. So I love the this or that. I love everything you guys have going on. Not to shout out the podcast.
Yes.
Thank you. We were really like flying by the seat of our pants.
It's
so.
really just and like honestly, sometimes it'll just be us. Like we'll be like, oh, let's do a podcast day. Let's do a content day, and we get together and we drink and smoke and eat, and then we'll just come up with a shitload of ideas, or we'll be like, maybe we should do this and maybe we should do this, and we've gotten to the point where like we have so many ideas, we have to write them down. We share all of our notes with each other with it, because like I'll go back into a note to add an idea and I'm like, oh, Court's been in here, she's been adding ideas, I love this. So,
Can't get high and forget. That's just that defeats the purpose.
Exactly.
Okay, so these are some rapid fire questions for you. Don't think about it, just answer.
Okay.
Favorite movie?
Saw.
One, the original.
Which one? The original?
Yeah, Saw 2. Saw 2. Saw 2.
Okay. Favorite TV show?
New Girl.
I love that one. That's how I felt when I was living with my friends last year. I was like, this is just like such a New Girl situation. I love this for me.
Oh, I'm jealous. Yeah.
Yes.
I love that.
Favorite sex position?
Reverse cowgirl.
Not a complicated bitch. Okay.
Yeah,
Love
I
it.
fucking
She knows
love
what she's
reverse cowgirl.
doing.
Like that's my shit. And honestly, that's the trick to being lazy but having fun.
Because
It's
you just
something
move
about
forward.
the leverage.
Yeah.
It's something about you have better leverage, but you still have fun. And if you have a nice ass, like whoever you're on top of is like, this is the best thing ever.
Yes.
So I love reverse cowgirl.
Okay, that's amazing. Wow. I've got like 3 minutes on anything up top. I can't. Like,
Oh yeah.
it's
yeah.
just 3 minutes and then
It's
we're
a lot.
good. I'm like a really good side position kind of bitch. Like where we're both laying down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that shit.
We
Okay.
like the horizontals.
Favorite color?
Purple.
Dom or sub?
I'm a sub, but I like to play dom.
Okay.
Like the reverse cowgirl is like kind of like one of those. I like to play dom, but I'm a sub.
Does it depend on your partner?
It depends on my mood. It's because I have like these like I have pleasure kinks. I have like kinks where like I like when people are like affirming me and pleasing me, and that's like kind of like the more dom side, because it's like I want you to please me, like this. You're mine, or like I'm like the best. I'm the number one. It's kind of like that weird pride kink, but like I'm very submissive at heart. I love pleasing people. Like I get off on that shit. It's probably trauma related, but whatever, I go with it.
Isn't everything?
What kink isn't trauma related at this point?
Kink isn't trauma related?
Just enjoy the ride.
Right.
Giver or receiver then?
I'm definitely a giver. More of a giver entirely. Yeah.
It's a Libra quality.
It is. It comes with being a Libra.
Definitely. Summer or winter?
Oh, that's hard. I have to say summer. I have to say summer. Yeah. I like being outdoors.
I like being half naked outdoors.
Yeah.
Can't do that when it's like fucking
Can't do
32
that in the
degrees
winter.
outside. I mean,
Yeah.
there are bitches that do that, but I'm not one of them.
I'm not.
Can't
No.
be. And then this one I included because I know who you are and I just want to know. Demi Lovato or Miley Cyrus?
Miley Cyrus.
Ah! Okay. I knew what your answer was going to be. Are you a fan of Demi Lovato?
I love Demi Lovato. I was into her in middle school. Like, I was into her around the time everybody else was into her. I loved like her songs. I think she's a great songwriter, great actress and everything, or not actress but artist. I fucking love Miley.
Yeah.
Like,
Okay,
Miley's my bitch.
favorite Miley album.
Probably her Dead Pets. Miley Cyrus and her Dead Pets.
Okay.
Is my favorite one. That one's like off the radar. It's really long. It's like a psychedelic, part punk, part like pop. She has a little bit of everything on that album, and that's why I like it.
Okay, a little bit of a kitchen sink situation.
Yeah.
I think
And,
I've only
she
heard
released it free.
Hmm?
She released it for free, like on SoundCloud when it first came out. She was like, "I'm not putting it on Spotify. Fuck money. I don't need money." And she released it on SoundCloud and was like, "Pirate my album," literally.
This was right after that strange era, right?
Yeah.
Where like of Bangers. This was right after
Yeah,
Bangers, right?
It was like right after Bangers, before she did Younger. I'm obsessed. Before like she did Younger Now, and everybody was like, "Oh, she just owned hip hop." So this was like that in between album.
Yeah, we needed that album. I think that was a good palate cleanser, actually. Forget all this shit. Okay. And then I did want to ask you your moon and your rising, because we already know you're a Libra, just like our favorite Libra.
I am Libra, Capricorn moon and Pisces rising.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
You're so balanced, though.
Yeah.
I do. I'm actually very, very much obsessed with the balance, because Libra comes up in my chart a lot. So I've already I'm a Libra. That's my shit. And just in retrospect, the things that I value in life, how I live my life, balance is important to me.
Absolutely.
So when I learned that my signs, like my moon rise, my moon, all that shit was balanced too. I was like, okay, I love this. I love that I got the air, I got the earth, I got the water. I love that I'm I'm a free spirit, but I can be organized and grounded and structured. And also I can be, both sides of any pole, really. I really like being that. I think it's important, especially because life is fucking crazy. You need to be on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll make it easier.
I have a lot of water in my chart, but I actually found I did some percentages or whatever where it shows you how you are of each, and I'm actually very fire dominant, which I didn't know that, because I have a Scorpio stellium, so I just always thought I was just all water, so emotional, and so, but I'm actually just a bitch. So
but I like that about you. I really love that about you.
Thank you.
I don't know.
I think emotional bitches are probably my favorite brand of bitch.
Yeah, if you
My
were
sister's
the
an
bitch, I
emotional
don't think we
bitch.
would be friends, Court.
Oh yeah, that's very true.
Then
how would we be bitches together?
Because we make great bitches together. Like my partner will always be listening to you and Courtney talk sometimes, I'm just so glad I'm friends with you guys, because you guys are sort of bitches. And I was like,
but not to people. Can I just say that it's more
I get that. I get that.
Ideas or situations.
You are besties. You are besties, and besties talk their shit. Yeah. Every bitch has to have their bitch, where it's the side that you would never do these things.
But we're gonna say it.
But you gonna say that shit.
Yeah.
You're gonna fucking say it.
Just put it out there.
You were thinking it, but you said it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Guys, so I'm gonna leave this like I do in the pod, because this is who I am and this is my life and this is what we're going through today.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and hit the record button. But let me tell you something. The audio is good. We got the audio. But I'm gonna hit this record button right now. And it's
the video recording.
So blame it on Mercury.
Hey.
Blame it on the Mercury.
Now we're
That's fine.
So blame it on Mercury.
Hey.
Blame it on the Mercury.
Now we're here for real.
We are here.
If you are listening to us like you usually listen to us every week, guys, you probably didn't notice anything. If you decide to go watch us on YouTube so you can see all three of our beautiful black faces, then you will know that the first 10 minutes are just not on video because I'm a fucking idiot. So
no, everybody makes mistakes. Okay, everybody has those days.
Because you're an idiot. Exactly.
Not the Miley Cyrus wrap that shit around. That's what, yes. Exactly. Give me the connections, bitch.
Exactly.
Love this for us. Okay. So
okay,
we kind of talked about your favorite movies.
Is it okay if I smoke for a second? It's legal here. Okay, I just...
live your life. We're very much pro marijuana here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And it's like legal up there where you're doing it, so you can't get arrested.
Yeah, no.
Do they have dispensaries and stuff up there yet?
Yeah. I have a local dispensary. This is their logo.
Ooh, this is
I buy
cute.
like their packs. They have like 5 joints in a pack for $40. It's expensive though. It's $45 for this. So expensive.
45 for 5. It's $9 a joint. $10 for a gram. I mean, yeah. Guess you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Comes with the territory. When I was up there in November, they just had the trucks.
Yeah,
and they were
we're
even
just
more
now
expensive.
getting expensive. Yeah. We're just now
I'm excited to go back up there.
Yeah, come visit.
Yes, we need to so you can show us. We'd love to come and see like one of your shows because you're just doing shows all the fucking time. It's amazing.
I was telling Court that we should plan like monthly field trips where we go and record an episode like somewhere. So I was like, we can go to like a wine vineyard and record an episode there. Go to like I don't know, go do some like sexy painting class or something.
You guys should come
record
to the sex museum here.
Yeah. So I went when I was up there in November. I loved it. I can't wait to go back. I hope they have some new exhibits. It is so cool. I like that you have to go up all these stairs. It's like very new.
I want to get on that booby bounce house. That's what I'm trying to be a part of.
The booby bounce house.
I'm trying to be a part of the booby bounce house.
Hell yeah.
Please come. Yeah. If you guys need a place to stay, my living room is always open to host. Literally.
Wow.
I love being a couch surfer. I'm
like,
so
honestly.
Go ahead and write that shit down, bitch. I'm saving my money already.
No, I'm so serious. We host
It's 11/11, by the way.
Oh, yes. Manifesting a New Year trick. It's 12/11 for me, but we're manifesting.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. Back to the reason that we're fucking here.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So I wanted to talk about a few of our favorite things about our favorite movies. Mm-hmm. First, I would like to ask you both the question, and we can circle back if you don't have an answer right now. But what is your favorite sex scene in a TV or a movie, like, ever? Or, like, one that just really stands out to you and you're like, I would probably, like, YouTube or Google this sex scene just to, like, watch it again. Yeah.
I think, like, the first one that comes to mind for me is, like, was a staple for me because it was, like, a coming-of-age thing, I guess. But it was, like, the first episode of The L Word where, like, Shane is, like... Jenny moves in next door, and then she hears people talking over the fence. She's like, oh, what the fuck is going on? So she goes outside, and it's, like, lesbians jumping in the pool nude. And Shane, like, swims over to the side with the girl and just, like, fucks her right up against the side of the pool. And Jenny's just watching through the crack in the fence.
Is Jenny gay?
Jenny, at this point, she doesn't know that she is, but
the lesbians moved next door, and this is
the lesbians already lived there.
Okay,
yeah, and like she had just moved in with her boyfriend, and her boyfriend was like, "Oh yeah, the lesbians live next door, like it's fine." But she was like, she goes back in the house and she's like, "There are women having sex in the pool." And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's fine. It happens all the time." He's like not fazed by it, but she's like, "I've never seen a gay before. This is crazy." But yeah, I just thought that was so hot. And I'm like, yeah, this is nice. I would do this. This is good. And then, like, you know, teenage me is like, ooh, wow, is it hot in here? Like, whoa.
Let me rewind that. Let me get my DVR.
Let me just pull it back.
Not TiVo. Mm-hmm. Okay. And what about you?
So mine is actually from like a rom-com dramedy. I don't know if you guys have heard of Zack and Mary Make a Porno.
Yes.
I fucking love that movie. That one was also, it was like a partially a coming-of-age moment for me because the scene in which Zack and Mary, so that's Seth Rogen's character and Elizabeth Banks' character, the main comedians of this movie, they have sex. that, like, the awkwardness, also the, like, I don't know, like, high school, that excited feeling you get when you're like, oh my gosh, I'm having sex with a friend, whatever, you know, like, just all of that mixed together, and the humor, I just fell in love with it. I fell in love with it, and I was like, I want my first time to be as awkward and hilarious as this.
Was it?
No, it wasn't. But I had, like, other awkward and hilarious moments like that post my first time, so it makes up for it.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's where my mind immediately goes when I think of favorite sex scene.
What about you, Court?
I've been thinking about it, and I'm just gonna say, like, I won't say it's my coming of age because I was way too old, but Issa Rae knows how to film black people having sex, and so, like, Insecure has amazing sex scenes, really from, like, season 1 to season 4. Whenever she does show the characters having sex, it's always, like, so black and just, like, so powerful. It's usually like that, like, sexy kind of aggression, but, like, it's like passion. It's not like rough, but it's like in there. It's just like lots of like quick scenes where it's like this position, now they're hitting this position. There's like a lot of flipping of people, like people are being switched for them. And I love the look of like black skin hitting black skin.
Absolutely.
Like on camera. That's so
especially when it's like oily, the lighting's good,
and both people are hot.
Yeah, and that I like when they zoom in, like where the fingers are pressing into the skin. Oh, those are like my favorite
or like
shots.
the hip dip.
Yes, I'm like,
like the belly button picture.
Yeah, please, you're doing it for me.
Yeah. So I liked those because I'm like,
steamy.
Oh, black love is hot.
Steamy.
Black love is hot.
Dead ass.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah, it is. So that would be my favorite one. But I like yours a lot. Zack and Mary is a great movie. It reminds me of like sitting upstairs at like 1 a.m. when I should be already asleep and like the TV should be off, and like I have my remote on like the channel, like
the channel button.
Yes, like so that you can make sure you can turn it back to Disney Channel if your parents like wake up.
Yeah.
the what is it, like the bat, like the
channel return or something?
Channel return.
Channel
button,
return.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm
not supposed to be watching this rated R movie.
Never fails.
Know.
Never fails. It's like, what were you doing? Nothing. Watching Disney Channel, bitch.
I've been watching Brandy and Mr. Whiskers this whole time.
Period. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm watching Real Sex on HBO.
Honestly, I was literally just thinking that back in the day, like, these parents are like, we're in this era of like hyper conservatism, which makes sense because when we were growing up, you could literally after midnight there was just porn on TV.
Yeah.
Like
accessible.
Porn would be on TV after midnight. And they would start showing girls go on wild commercials at 10 o'clock at night.
Or the actual episode.
On BET, on like MTV One. Oh my God, on Spike. Do you remember BET Uncut?
Yes, entirely.
So,
I was all up in that.
You would see bad bitches just throwing ass in jacuzzi, just ass,
like
ass,
whoa,
ass.
Yes.
Oh, or what happened to the quality of America?
I was a bitch that would always switch to, what was it, like Showtime. I loved seeing that the AVNs were on.
Yes, I loved watching the porn awards.
I loved watching the porn awards. I loved watching the porn awards. Yeah, so the AVNs would be on, and I'd be like, all right, I'm just about to turn this down. I'm going to get as close to the TV as possible to where it doesn't look suspicious. Amazing. And we're about to make this fucking happen.
Amazing.
And now we work for a company where they win AVNs and they go to the awards.
Have you ever asked if you can go?
I've asked multiple times.
I feel like if anybody should go, it would be you.
I'm literally like, listen, I will pay for my own ticket.
But you shouldn't because Lex is the number one salesperson in the company consistently, like every year.
Your shit, boo. You know your shit, boo.
I've actually sold over $200,000 worth of stuff.
So you paid for your ticket, you paid for your room. You need to go.
You need to go.
Let me call it this woman. Let me call it the CEO.
I don't
want to say her name on here.
You guys are literally like perfect. Hold up.
It's very gay. I love it.
It is.
Okay, so this one is a little bit more of a difficult question, but describe your love life, and it doesn't have to be your sex life. It can just be your romantic life. It doesn't matter. Using a movie title or a TV show.
Ooh, a movie title or a TV show. Does it have to be an existing movie title or like a made-up one?
Ooh, I love it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Made up.
Oh,
it could be
made
either one.
up? Okay.
It could be either one.
Shit. I mean...
It's hard.
Because I still don't have an answer to this question. I'm still thinking.
I told
It's
Lex
so
that mine was...
hard.
I told mine that Lex was Midsummer. I mean, I told Lex that mine was Midsummer because... I just feel like I thought my relationships would be a place for me of safety. Like, oh wow, my life is so crazy. Hopefully these niggas will come in and make my life better. But instead they made me fucking crazy. It made me want to jump off a balcony and burn myself in a house. But instead they burned themselves in their house. And yeah, so.
I get that. That resonates with me. I'm not stealing your answer, but that resonates with me. I'm not stealing your answer, but that resonates.
Yeah, like I'm at the end of the day, I'm still the queen bee, and you're still dead.
Period.
But for the people that don't know me, none of my exes are actually dead yet.
Yet they will be though.
We can make
That's
some,
the point.
we can make some shit shake, okay?
Oh man, that was such a good answer too, and I still can't even. I can only
Have you
just
thought about?
be like, this is what I'm doing. Like,
No, I
it's
get
like okay, like.
Ooh, I actually just came up with one. Maybe like a gay version of She's Gotta Have It.
Oh,
Okay. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be it for me. I just want to be like, but like the Netflix one with that one light skinned bitch, that one, not the old movie.
Oh my God, she's not light skinned. She's like, I would say
She's got like hazel eyes.
Okay,
Okay,
what
she's
is
got
she
hazel
like
eyes, but she's-
caramel? She's like caramel
she's like,
skin?
I think she's brown
Sorry,
skin.
my
brown?
bad. This just black person, this black woman. How about
Yeah.
that? Just keep it like
Easier.
that.
I don't know why that hurt.
That's easier.
I don't know why I had to like fight you on that, so I apologize.
But yeah, I love that one just because like the series, just because she literally is just like a creative. She's living in, I forgot what city they're living in.
New York.
New York, yeah. And she has like these boyfriends and then she has a girlfriend. But I'm like, I just want this, but like not with the niggas. Like, cause even just watching it in her interactions with the men and how the men get jealous, especially when she starts dating a woman, I'm like, yeah, this is just too much for me. You guys are doing too much. But in the overall general sense of like just living a creative, polyamorous, like sex positive life with the people around me sort of being on the same wavelength, that is like my whole shebang.
Yes. That's a great answer.
Thank you.
She reminds me a lot of you. Nola, darling.
Nola, darling. Yes.
I still don't have an answer, guys. I like. Also, I don't watch a lot of TV. Now I'm wondering, but I have to think about movies, and I'm like, I don't know. I feel like I'm at the part of like generally any end of the movie where like everything has happened, and now we're on to new things. Like I'm in this transitional time of my life. It feels like a homecoming, like I'm returning to
Ooh, love
myself.
that.
So I guess Homecoming would be the title, I guess, because it feels like I'm
Beyonce's
returning
Homecoming?
to myself. Beyonce's Homecoming.
Love it.
That's what.
Done. It's
Oh,
a done
that's
deal.
actually great.
Love
Yeah,
it.
that's
Because
really
Beyonce's album, her most recent album, has kind of
Renaissance?
like, yeah, it has like
Yeah.
been an aid. It has been one of the aids of me getting back to myself because
Absolutely.
that album is not a basic bitch album.
It is so good. We were literally just saying,
It's
like,
so good.
We were literally saying, what else are people listening to right now? People are listening to other things. Like,
I know,
I'm
like her, and I just love like the lyrics, like what she's talking about, how
Yeah.
she's hyping herself up, like all the things she's hitting on. I'm like, I feel like in touch with this. Like I'm getting
Yeah.
in touch with like, if you want to call it an inner goddess, if you want to call it the divine, whatever. I'm getting in touch with it through that album.
She put magic in the album. Like I swear, like she had people come in, or she did herself, and she put those magic
Yes.
like spells
She
in
blessed
those
it,
words
yeah.
because you cannot get through that album without like feeling better. And I told everybody that it's just like you put it on, and it's just like your body just wants to move, and like you kind of just forget
Yes.
where you are for that like hour and a half. And that's why I want so badly to just hear it all from the beginning to the end in a club with my fucking friends
Me too.
and a bunch of black
I've been thinking about
badass
doing.
bitches.
I've literally been thinking about doing an end of the summer, like September 21st, like Welcome Fall, Bye Bye Summer Beyonce party, and just play the album and dance to it, and that's just it. I kind of want to do something like that.
I was thinking about doing that at my pool also, especially since we have so many like cabanas and shit like that. Yeah,
just throw a bunch of private Renaissance parties.
Yeah,
what if, like I just put out a tweet, or so we just start tweeting, like, people start throwing your own Beyonce end of the summer parties, and like all these mini like Beyonce parties just pop up.
I literally again I emailed the lesbian club here in Dallas. And I was like, you guys, they own so many of the clubs on the Strip. And I'm like, you guys should really get on this. I don't know what you need to do to get on this, but I think it would be super profitable. And like my partner made a point where she was like, well, the people that own that stuff is like old white gays. So, you know, you don't even know if they're like listening to the Beyonce album. But I was like, if you're gay, shouldn't you be listening to the Beyonce album?
Or at least tapped into your customer base, like the people that are on the Strip.
Especially because Sue Ellen's, anytime we've gone as of recently, it's always a black DJ. It's mostly black women in there and everything. So I'm like, this is just, you know, it would make more sense if we actually did it that way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Just a cute little club kind of thing.
Maybe we should just go up there and talk to them too.
I'll demand some shit. I'll go up there with a sledgehammer if I need to.
Wow. And destroy them?
Threaten them.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
I would take it seriously.
Hey, I'll smash a window for Beyonce. I don't give a fuck.
Absolutely.
I love her.
So we are talking about, for our pleasure principle, we're talking about some of the black and queer cinema, black/queer or black or queer movies that we watched over the course of like the last few weeks to prepare for this episode. So we watched Watermelon Woman, Pariah, Elena Undone, Water in a Broken Glass, and then as a bonus last night,
we just watched it just because it looked interesting and it had Miss Keke Palmer.
Bitch, stay working, because there's this movie called Pimp. Definitely recommend it.
It was a ride.
She's a pimp.
She's a female pimp, a gay female pimp.
Oh,
right?
Like
Keke
Palmer
exactly
and Nope is like she. Keke Palmer and Nope is like hot. Like gay Keke Palmer does something to me.
Keke Palmer's really hot.
She was less hot in this gay version of herself.
Because it was very like
toxic stud.
Toxic, masculine.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, not into it.
She said, "I'm your pimp."
With that piece sounding right.
Get in the fucking car, Nikki.
Oh my god,
it was a lot. You should watch it. It was on Prime. It was like on one of those like channels on Prime, but it has the 7-day free trial. So if you ever wanted to watch Watermelon Woman and Pimp, they're on the same one.
Cool.
Anyway, but before we talk about those queer movies, I wanted to talk about the movies that are kind of queer, but like not, they don't have any gay people in them. But
absolutely.
They're still gay. And obviously number one is Twilight.
Yes.
It was taken over by the gays. It's owned by the gays. Stephanie Meyer is gay.
So, are you Team Edward or Team Jacob?
I'm Team Edward. Only because vampires are way cooler, and honestly, I've been rewatching the Twilight movies religiously for the past, 5 years, and Jacob's a little pussy. Like,
he's a bitch boy!
He's a bitch boy! And he's a fucking weirdo, and he think he owns Bella's little pussy, and then he goes on and imprints on her daughter. Like, oh, get the fuck out of here.
The point I always make, okay, is one, how many times does Bella have to say no for you to leave her the fuck alone?
Literally.
Two, why you trying to have this bitch end up like your girl Leah? You haven't even imprinted on a bitch, not a single bitch, and you're like, yes, leave your happy, loving home for me and come on over here to the human wolf, rawr, 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 like dog side. This nigga, literally, New Moon, worst book in the series.
Yeah.
Oh my
worst
God.
movie in the series. Loca.
Oh, okay. I don't know if
What?
it's the worst. I don't know if it's the worst, but it is not as good as I remembered. New Moon's not as good.
There's two things that I feel like, I'm Team Edward too. I've always been Team Edward. When I read the books, when I was in middle school, I am always Team Edward because I always thought to myself, Yes, I always thought of myself as
Yes.
more of a vampire, so I'm
Yes.
like, cool. I wanted to be a Cullen.
Yes, period.
But two things. Taylor Lautner just really did not do a great job at Jacob. Like, he was hot and he was brown. So they were like, let's just throw him in there.
Right.
But
It's this white man cosplaying as a Native American.
but like literally,
He's
and that's why
literally
when
from
he was saying,
Lansing, Michigan.
like-
He's from one of the whitest places in Michigan. He
So
has
we
the
can
whole
only
little
blame-
Michigander accent too.
we can only blame Jacob as a character so much, one, because Taylor
Right.
Lautner just did not do him as much justice as he could. But two, I think personally, I'm sure you read the book, Dee, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were reading the books, did you hate Jacob as much as you do after you watched the movies for 5 years, like a
No,
bunch of
not
times?
in the books. No, not
Yeah,
in the books.
not in the
I
books,
loved
like-
him in the books. I loved him in
was
the
like-
books because
He was more
like
of like a golden
sensitive.
retriever vibe in the
Yes,
book.
yes,
Than
yes.
this like kind of chip on his shoulder, like
Yes,
pussy ass
yes,
nigga that he was
yeah.
in the movies.
He was
so
a
I was
really
still really
good
fucking with
friend.
Jacob. I was just Team Edward because I
Yes.
wanted Bella to be a vampire. You know,
That's fair.
But, like, Jacob
that's
was a
how
good
I was
guy.
back then. Yeah, back then it was like I fucked with Jacob, but I was like, nah, I really want Bella to be a vampire. I love vampires. I want to be a vampire. You know, so I
just
totally
always
get what
have
you're
the.
saying.
I just even in the book. Again, how many times did Bella have to be like, "But I love Edward"?
Okay, but
But I understand. If we're going solely based off him being a good friend, you know, shit like that, I'm down. But literally, even in the book, once she said what she
Lex,
needed,
it's not his fault. It was a curse. It was a curse. Like, it's literally something he doesn't have control over. He imprinted on Bella's ovary. Ovary. Bella's ovaries in her body. So of course he's trying his hardest to get with Bella because that little side piece, in front of her kidney, is his whole life.
We were just talking.
so then what if they had a baby together? Then what?
What?
We were just talking about how that was just the craziest thing to make up just to like make sense. Because we're like, why the fuck would you imprint on a fucking unborn baby? But Stephanie had to write that in just to like make Jacob wanting her so badly.
It was the twist of the century, bro. I remember reading that
It was
at night.
though. It was.
I mean, like what? The way that
It
she
creeps me
describes
out
him.
though.
Yeah, the way that she describes him, like making eye contact and like how everything stops and stuff. I was like, yeah, this is a little weird, but
Yeah, there's actually no way to fix that. And I actually think they made it worse in the movie by doing that little CGI
Fucking
thing at the
CGI.
end.
I like
my
where they like took
God.
them all through their lives together, and it just
Yes.
kept showing Bella and Edward
I
being
am
the
your
same
brother.
age. And then,
I
like-
am your protector. I am whatever you need me to be. I'm
Like,
like, you don't
what?
need to explain so we don't assume you're trying to fuck a child. We're
Yeah.
still
It just sounds
assuming
worse.
that shit.
no.
but you know, the vampires were super hot in the
Yeah.
films.
Oh yeah.
Always.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh,
And I mean, as we talked about a little bit, well, I think
And I bet you vampire sex is like
the way Stephanie
we saw
explained
it. We saw it in Breaking Dawn.
You,
Like,
do you see
come
those
on.
embers that just?
He was breaking beds.
and
He
like
was breaking.
everything.
The back
yeah, and in
muscles were
Breaking
there.
Dawn. in Breaking
Feathers
Dawn-
everywhere, waking up with bruises. I'm actually okay with all of these things.
Bella, like, there's a scene where Bella's like literally crying, like, please fuck me, like, please, Edward. Yeah,
I say
she's
all the
like,
time.
please, and he's like, because he's so upset because like he broke the bed and shit or whatever. And she's like,
I say all the
"Please."
time. I literally say all the time that Bella was ready to die about that dick from book one. She was ready to die about that dick from
Oh my
book one.
gosh,
She was like,
literally.
listen, right here on the prom
Please,
floor,
please,
get me.
please, fuck me. She was so horny.
She was
I'm
so
like,
horny.
Stephanie
She said,
Meyer, were you that horny in high school? I mean, like,
Yes.
I was horny, but not enough to be like right now. Not until
Yeah, I know.
like 12th grade.
even that night when they like had the house to themselves, even, and Bella's like, yeah, like I want to be tied to you in every way and all this other stuff. He's like,
Say you want a cream pie and go.
just say that.
Right.
Like, Jesus.
Great movie, great movie. Which one? Which of the movies is your favorite movie?
The first one, Twilight.
Yeah, the first
It's
one.
so
yeah.
good.
Really?
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
hate Catherine Hardwicke. don't like that bitch.
Who
I don't think
is
she's
who
the
is it?
director.
Oh, okay.
I don't like the way she did the color.
Yeah, the color's awful.
No,
terrible.
I'm obsessed with the cinematography. That's one of the best things.
Yeah. It's
The
it's
color
that
is-
filter. Like I think the filter on it adds to the aesthetic of the movie.
Yeah.
So like I like that aspect of it, but if it had to come like overall, I'm like it. In some moments, it just in those moments where it's like I can't really see what's happening because it's dark, whatever filter they have on it. I felt that way about some of the scenes.
It's
But
so
I did love like
it's so niche.
I did love the idea of it, like
Yeah.
the fact that it's like a cold, lonely world for Bella and a lot of reasons for Edward, and then
Yeah.
like in New Moon when Jacob comes, it's like turns
warmer colors.
warm and like I like that.
Yeah.
Like,
I like
it
the
fits.
eclipse.
Those warm up colors are definitely better
Yeah.
in New Moon. Yeah.
Eclipse
It goes
was
off.
also one of my favorite ones. I liked Eclipse a lot too.
Eclipse is
I think
cool.
I like Breaking
I
Dawn
like
Part
Dakota
2.
Fanning.
Yeah, we love Dakota
Really?
Fanning.
Yeah, we do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, where is
Breaking
she? What is she
Dawn
doing? Because Elle is taking over. Elle Fanning. She's
Yeah,
like,
Elle
Yeah,
literally,
she's taken
her and her
over.
parted lips and her doe eyes are killing
Yeah.
Hollywood right now.
unbeatable.
know
That was fun. Wow.
We always end up talking about Twilight in an episode. I feel like.
I love
I mean,
Twilight.
yeah, because it is
we
the
grew up on
staple of our
Twilight.
generation.
Yeah.
Like, truly.
Yeah.
I think it's like
I'm on a Twilight shitpost Facebook group, and if you don't, do you want me to send it to you?
no, but I just like,
Like, if you are not on one, you have to do it because the memes are really, really top tier. And I love Twilight memes. I think they're hilarious.
okay, we can start talking about these actual black and actual queer cinemas films now. Let's start with Pariah because you watched that one as well.
Yeah.
It was a teen movie, kind of like a coming of age movie about this teenage stud presenting woman that is kind of like learning about her sexuality, going to like places with her friend to try to like, I don't know,
Pick up girls.
yeah. And then also she's dealing with her pressures living in an African home, like an African American, but like I think they're from Africa, like the parents are from Africa, dealing with like coming out to them and being the daughter that they expect of her to be.
Yeah.
So it's one of those.
All
movies.
while the parents are on the outs the whole movie.
Yeah, it's kind of a difficult situation.
Yeah.
But how did you feel about the movie, Dee?
I loved it. I especially love the representation. It's written by a black woman. That's just rare. I feel like it could honestly be compared to, in a sense, to Moonlight by Barry Jenkins because it touches on the same elements. It just spans a different, lifetime. But I don't know. I just think that it was very real, and it was like a great film, like on a technical aspect. It was filmed beautifully. The script is great. It wasn't, boring or flat. Like everything had a purpose and intention. My only note, and this is just a symptom of Hollywood, is that it plays into some of the negative stereotypes of dark skin. Black women being unwanted and then like falling in love for the light skin, ethereal, and then they didn't even work out in the end. So that is just, I think that's like, it's just hard to see. I think there's real to it, but I'm just sick of seeing it in Hollywood, especially because I think it plays into a negative stereotype.
Yeah, we were talking about that yesterday, even in Watermelon Woman and Pimp, and Pimp. Like
I'm just okay. I'm gonna make this disclaimer because no true issue with interracial relationships. I'm just tired of that being the trope.
Yes.
For so many movies, even queer movies. And so watching Pimp and watching watching Watermelon Woman, I was like, oh yes, you're literally surrounded by black women in every single scene, but you're falling for the little blonde white bitch every time. Like that is totally insane to me because in a room full of black lesbians, the white bitch is usually the one that's out of place, that no one's really like.
Yes.
Like, not like they're not fucking with this person, but they're not trying to fuck with this person like that.
Right,
you know?
exactly.
So I'm just like, yes, I know that this happens, but in a black, it just is, why is it it's everywhere.
Every time.
Commercials.
It's everywhere. It's
everywhere.
Really bad.
We get it.
And it always like depicts the black woman as like you were kind of saying, not unwanted, but like the white woman is the one seducing, like kind of like bringing this black girl into herself. Like before this light skin or this white woman came into their life, they didn't know who they were. Yeah. And they didn't know where they were going.
Yeah, it's
but
like
now
the white
all of a sudden their life
trope.
has meaning.
It's like a spin on the manic pixie dream girl trope and the basic white dude, right? Like he's like, oh, I found this mysterious magical woman, and she's so perfect and different, and now I know that I can enjoy life on the outside. It's like the same shit. You learn something about yourself through this like majestical being, and it's just like a white person, or it's just a mixed light-skinned black girl.
Yep. Crazy shit.
It's just
right there.
harmful. People don't realize that that's harmful because we see these things, we become biased to these things, and we, go to the real world, and we're looking at light-skinned black women as these majestical people, and they're not. They're just fucking people.
Yeah. Crazy stuff. But what were we talking about?
Pariah.
Thank you. Thanks, babes. So I don't know if I know that we're out, or I don't know. What is your sexuality?
I identify as bisexual, queer. I'm out. I've never admitted it to my family, but it's not like a thing I care to. It's not, and I don't have to make it a big deal because my brother's gay, my grandma's queer, and she's struggled with actually admitting that. She is queer, but doesn't exactly announce it, and I have a lesbian aunt, so I know I would never be shamed. It's not something I am intentionally hiding. It's just don't feel the need to talk about it. Don't feel the need to make a big deal about it. But I am just real with myself, and I recognize that I'm not straight, and I actually am less attracted to more cisgendered men specifically, but in general, I like people that present in a more androgynous, in between, fluid way. I'm just attracted to people like that generally. Even if it's not always in fashion and looks, even if it's your mannerisms are feminine, but you have very masculine actions, and I'm attracted to people that just exhibit both generally. Yeah. So, and I'm very aware of that, and I'm that's queer. That sounds about queer to me. So, I prefer the term bi to pan. Mostly because I like the bisexual flag more than I like
the colors just
and
also pan makes me feel like I'm including straight men, and no.
Yeah, and that's why that's also one reason that I prefer to say queer. Whenever somebody's like, "What's your sexuality?" I prefer to say queer, or I say lesbian, because it's not like I'm only attracted to women. I'm really, really attracted to femininity. That is it. Yeah. So it's that is my main thing. Just being feminine, being soft like that with the shit. Yes. Get that masculine shit the fuck up out of here. Because who are you talking to?
Yeah. I feel like I always identify just as bisexual. I think I just said this on the pod because I are really attracted to femininity. I'm really attracted to femininity, but I'm really attracted to masculinity, and I'm attracted to women because they're feminine and men because they're masculine. Okay, and so that's why I say I'm bi, because I'm really bi. I just like them both. Yeah. Very simple. But I recently have had an experience with somebody that is kind of more in the fluid state, where they had a lot of feminine qualities and they had a lot of masculine qualities, and they identified as he and him, and I was really attracted to that. So that's very new for me, and it's just this one person, but that is kind of the breakthrough I've had recently, where I'm hold on, this is a whole pocket here that I've never had before, and I'm like fucking feeling it a lot.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I think I kind of knew when I was a kid because I was always attracted to, like, on America's Next Top Model, all the androgynous, all the girls with haircuts and high cheekbones. I'm like, I want you to win. You're hot. I love you. Oh man, and I just, yeah. I should have came out sooner than college. I have no idea why I was suppressing my gayness.
Yeah. I mean, but it's the times. We're definitely in a different time. Like the high schoolers now really have a little bit more freedom with that than even we did. Yeah. So I don't, we came out when we were ready to come out, and we have so much like life ahead of us for us to really experience and step in our queerness. So I'm just like, cool. Now I'm really like along for the ride. I'm single again, and like I'm able to do that.
Not me clapping.
So, yeah.
No, we love it. No, this is
You're gone.
Bow, 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 like all of that.
Proud of you.
So yeah, now I'm just like really into like
welcome.
Yes, welcome back
it's
to
honestly,
the dark side.
Like single black women, femmes. It's fun over here. Because we have a lot of power. We have a lot of power. I was just thinking the other day, like, because it's like, oh, I could look at it as like I'm single because it's like I'm black women are less desirable. It's harder to find connections. Blah blah blah. My personality, my problems. But now I look at it as like I'm choosing to be single because I really, really know what I want. I have a lot of power in finding these experiences that are going to make me thrive, make me happy. And I can find that. And I'm happy that I have that power. And even if it takes me a long time to connect and have experience, it's because I have the power to really choose what I want. So it's really fun over here because you really like get to generate your own romantic and love experiences.
Yes.
Yeah, so welcome.
Beautiful. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for allowing me to join your club.
Welcome to
But that was Pariah. So my question really overall for Pariah was just like, how did you come out to your family? So when you were living with your family and in that area, when did you come out?
Whenever I first initially came out to my two best friends in like a bathroom, and then my freshman year of high school, I went into freshman year like, if you are a nigga, don't even look at me. Don't even look at me. I don't want to talk to you. I don't care about shit that's coming out of your mouth. But when it comes to my family, because I had like this scare in my room where like my sister almost caught me making out with this girl in my room, and she went and snitched and told my mom. And my mom brought me into her bathroom, and scariest conversation of my life because I got slapped twice, and my mom does this thing where she like points at your head and like pushes it, and she was like, if I fucking find out you're gay in my house, you're being gay in my house, nothing can save you. So I never came out until I actually never vocally came out. They only verbally came out. They only knew because then I got engaged to a woman and then announced it, and everybody was like, oh, and then like half of my family stopped talking to me. So
But I mean, you've since like spoken to your mom, so was it like, how did you guys come to that point where you were like okay with speaking to each other again?
Like, I don't know, because we also don't talk right now, right. So it's like hard to say because my mom has. She doesn't, I don't know, she just doesn't understand that people aren't going to do things her way. And she doesn't know how to not like something and shut the fuck up about it, So, like, she'll be like, yeah, I just want you to be happy. I just want you to be happy. But, and then starts going on about something else.
You know what I'm saying? That too.
It did get to the point where, like, she was pretty open and accepting about it. But I never sat down with her and had the conversation, like, hey, I'm gay, I'm this. Because personally, to me, I feel like that is a heteronormative thing anyway. We're only coming out because you feel like heterosexuality is the only thing that there is. And
exactly.
There isn't.
Exactly.
So I never really felt the need to be like, especially once I figured that out, I never really felt the need to be like, hey, whoever, mom, I'm gay and I have this is my girlfriend and whatever. Like, the only person I really do that with is my niece. but that's mostly just so she understands, like,
Yeah.
you know, this is a sexuality and it's okay if you do that. But
Yes.
like, I just don't feel like coming out should be a thing. I don't think it
Same.
should be like that big of a deal.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So I never had a formal coming out. I just sort of popped up.
Same. Love it.
That's basically
Lots of
what happened.
similarities here.
Yeah. What about you, Court?
You know,
Yeah.
I came out this month, or actually during, well, no. I was supposed to come out during Pride Month. I had like planned it. All my friends have been known that I'm gay. My like cousins have known that I'm gay since college, but I just never felt the need to share that with my family. And like you said, it's just because I've always been in a heterosexual relationship, and I've always just been like, what's the point if I'm only presenting this way to my family? Because they're just going to ask me all these questions. And like, I just felt like I wasn't ready for that. But in June, when Pride Month came around and we had like decided we were going to do this, I was like, okay, I got to tell them this month, because as soon as these episodes start coming out, they're going to know.
And the
I'm
first
fucking gay.
episode was like, it was like, oh, what's your pronouns? What's your sexuality?
Yeah, it was like all the introduction stuff. So I was like, I have to come out to them. And we just had a lot going on that month. I couldn't. And I was living with them for a few weeks because I moved out of my apartment. So I just didn't want to do that and then be in their space consistently for 3 weeks. So I was like, let me not. Anyway, long story short, they definitely found out through just listening to the first episode of the pod, and that was my fault. And I feel really bad because I feel like it would have been a better reaction or situation if I had just told them before I got on this podcast, but I didn't. And like, my time management skills just really fucking suck. Like, they really do.
I get
and
that.
That was on me. And I've had to like really apologize to my parents and also understand why they feel the way they do, because they kept telling me, they were like, we don't really care that you're gay. Like, you know, my cousin is gay. I have other family that's already gay, very much gay, like married. And like, it just doesn't, I knew it wouldn't matter in the way that it does in a lot of other families. But I don't know. It's just like you have this image of what your parents think about you. And it was really hard for me to come out of that. But I'm glad that I did. And ever since I have, I've just been like really open with my parents, and it's been fucking
That's
fantastic.
beautiful.
I love that for
Yes,
you.
we love when our relationships with our parents mature and like grow up.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know what it'll be like when I actually tell them like, hey, I'm dating a woman. I feel like it won't be anything terrible. It'll just be like a lot of really fucking questions. Like when they found out I was gay, the first thing they were asking me, because I was still with my boyfriend at the time, they're like, well, what does blah 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 think about this? Well, what does he think about this?
Why
like,
does it matter?
First of all, he's known since the very first day.
Right.
I always tell my partners who I am my first day, because if you're not into that, or if you are
different.
insecure, you probably don't want to be around me. So
Feel
you
that.
know. But anyway, that is my experience with coming out. I wish I did it differently, but I'm just glad that it is over now and that we're on the other side of that. Yeah, truly. Okay, that was Pariah, y'all. The next one we watched, let's talk about Elena Undone, because that one is really, like, I didn't have a lot for that one.
Yeah.
If you want to explain what Elena Undone is.
So Elena Undone it's one of my like favorite comfort films. Like, if I'm watching Twilight, I'm usually watching Elena Undone also. But it is about this pastor's wife. She is like also a mom, and she's basically just like, you know, going through life. You can tell she's like sort of sad. Life is sort of mundane, you know. And then she has this best friend who's into telemetry and twin flames and everything like that. And that she's trying to have a baby. Anyway, she goes to an adoption agency and she meets this woman. The woman's a writer. Her mom just died. And basically they go through this whole like bestie friendship turned lovers turn wives kind of thing. And it is basically like, you know, oh, you know, I met this person. She even said like, you know, this was never something I could have even imagined. Like, I never thought I could have, I've never kissed a girl before, so I never thought I would be here. But it's basically her going through her relationship with Peyton, and trying to also navigate her relationship with her husband. So, you know, it's just like, okay, do I stay in this life that I have already, or do I go with the life that I really, really want, that makes me feel something that I've never felt before, you know? So it's a very interesting movie. It has a happy, happy ending. So, yeah.
Oh, right.
It does have a happy ending. And a lot of queer movies, I will say, they don't have happy endings. So that's probably why it is one of my favorites, because it has a very happy ending.
Yay.
Yeah. That one was a very sweet movie.
It was sweet.
It was like, don't take this offensively because I don't mean it offensively. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
But it was giving one of those like Christian movies.
Oh yeah.
Like the cinematography and like the acting was giving one of those like you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Barry's a pastor.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But okay, so was it a Christian movie then? Was it a Christian movie?
No, it wasn't a Christian movie.
Okay, that's what I mean.
He was just a Christian pastor.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I mean like those like offbeat movies that are like about an
like those
experience
B
that happened.
movies. Yeah.
And then they
like
find
religious
God
B
and like
movies. Yeah.
Yeah.
it was like one of those
Everything
things. But it was very sweet, and it's on Hulu. Let me remind you guys where these are, so if you ever want to watch them. Pariah is on Amazon Prime.
It was on HBO.
I think it is on HBO.
Pariah is on HBO, and Elena Undone is on Hulu. And then I really want to talk about these two. We're almost out of time, and I don't want to make this an hour and a half again. So, Watermelon Woman and Water in a Broken Glass.
Yes.
I really want to touch on those because I feel like we can both really touch on those.
Yes.
Let's do Water in a Broken Glass first.
Yes.
This one I found on Amazon Prime, and it is about a bisexual woman who, she's an artist, and she's like trying to create this beautiful collection for her job, but she just like is losing herself. She goes into a bookstore and she sees the owner of the bookstore, who's a lesbian woman named Satin.
She was hot.
Yeah, she was beautiful.
Satin was. Whew.
And they basically just kind of like start a friendship, and Satin's already in a relationship with a woman, and they just kind of like fall for each other. But the main character, what is her name? I'm just gonna call her Beth. No, I'll look it up. I'll look it up.
Damn, I can't remember.
Clearly, it was a good movie.
It was a good movie though.
It was sweet.
It was the acting is questionable.
Very
The
questionable.
cinematography is bucket list, but
The audio
is bucket list also.
But we're getting it done.
But it was a really good movie, and I think they did really well. Like once I got into the groove of the movie, I think they did really well on gay glances, like gay eye contact. I feel like that's a hard thing to get genuinely. And just while some of it you can tell is like scripted, I just really felt like that I would hope that they were actually like really attracted to each other, because that is what it felt like when we were watching them like look at each other and watch each other do stuff. I'm like, yeah, because I feel like that's how I'll be looking too.
Yeah.
So Tanya is her name. And Tanya starts this relationship with a man right like the day before she meets Satin. So she's in a relationship with this man, and she's also navigating her relationship with Satin. And I like you said, like the glances were perfect. It reminded me of like a lot of my first experiences with girls, because the way that the actress was, she was like, she overdid it. She was like, it was like she's acting on stage, but like she had these just doe eyes the whole time, like,
and the blinking.
Anytime she was like talking to a woman, or she was dancing with a woman, or she was like, she just felt like attracted to a woman, like she just had this look where she was like, I don't know, I'm touching this soft shoulder. But like I do kind of remember in college, like when I was in that vibe and I was dancing with women and I was touching women like in that way, I was kind of like, oh my God, like they feel amazing. This feels so good. And like, is this really happening?
Yeah,
I feel like me feels so
my
good.
My ears are hot.
Like, like I really loved those like slow burns. Like even the part in the club where she was dancing with her friend that she didn't know was gay in high school, but they like linked up together and they started dancing again.
Aww.
Like it was a very sweet movie. A little dramatic towards the end there, but it ultimately...
Yeah, it was... The ending felt very rushed.
Okay.
And it was definitely about like the choice as a bisexual woman, the difficulty and in choosing the path for you, because for me at least, whenever I think about dating men and I think about dating women, I love women. I love spending time with women. I love touching on women. I love all of that. And then I also think being with a man, like I would have this linear lifestyle that I know I can achieve with a woman, but because we live in the world that we do, that's so hetero focused, I feel like I won't have that picket fence, like 2 kids and this and this. Like, I want a nuclear family vibe. Like,
Yeah.
I think that was one of her big, like, in her mind, that's what she was thinking when she was trying to choose between the life she knew and the life she wanted. And, like, you have to kind of break up with that mindset in your own mind of, like, you can have the life you want with the person that you want. And it's not based on this, like, rigid set of guidelines that this heterosexual...
It's the heteronormativity.
Yeah, the heteronormativity.
Heteronormativity, yeah.
It really is, like, ingrained, but especially because, like, you're, like, the home you grew up in also, that is your example, is a heterosexual couple. So it would make sense that would be your ideal form of a relationship because that is, like, the outline, the blueprint that you have for love and a relationship.
It almost reinforces it. Yeah. Because it's like there's like the idea of like the heteronormativity and like society, like all of those ideas, and then our own homes that sometimes reinforce them or sometimes don't. Because, like, I understand societal norms, and I, like, have that mindset, but because, like, I didn't grow up in a 2-parent home, and it was very unconventional, it's so easy for me to accept that life doesn't have to be like that. Like, I can fall into it when I feel pressure from other people that projects the idea, like, oh, you need to be this, you need to do this, but then I can, like, look back on my life and be like, I had a really weird, unconventional life, and it was fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I can just accept that. You don't have to have all that. So, yeah, it's hard to break that, though, and really find that. Sure. Like you said, what you want and, like, what you were, like,
because, I mean, I definitely, like, my household is definitely, like, dysfunctional as fuck. Like, whole family dysfunctional. Same. So I guess it really is like I didn't even really have a model on what I still don't really have a model on like what a like family dynamic is supposed to be, you know? So to me, when I think of like my life and like love and how that incorporates into my life, the only thing I see is being in love and having fun. Those are the only things I see.
Same.
And feeling good feeling good. So it's like, so I think I always just naturally gravitated towards people and things that make, that reinforce that feeling.
That's literally it.
Yeah. Cause it's like, I could do it this way, but I'm bored now. So I don't want to do it that way. Which is why I'm over here like polyamory, bitch. This is my constantly.
I love that. I love that for you.
I'm basically the recruiter.
Yes.
Like she's actually one of those like the army recruiters where it's like, oh, this bitch again. But outside of my high school.
But I'm like, you should be having more sex with the people you want to, and you should be experiencing relationships.
That's how I feel.
In every way that you should.
Because the first person to introduce me to polyamory was a Libra, and they were just like, I just feel like one person can't satisfy my needs. And I was like, you on to something. And ever since then, I haven't, like, experienced a polyamorous relationship because I've just, like, dating has been so weird for me. But, like, that's, I consider myself, like, open to that because I'm, like, that sounds...
It's really fun.
Sounds like a thing.
It's really fun.
Like I'd be into it.
It does take a lot of like ego deaths and things like that. Like it takes a lot of like knowing your own boundaries and also putting yourself in a position where you can accept someone else's boundaries despite like wanting something different, you know? Like finding a middle ground.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I see that.
That is Water in a Broken Glass. That one, like I said, is on Amazon Prime. It was an hour and a half of very up and down, but it was a good movie. I suggest it. If you just want to see black people on the screen, just watch it. Because that's only black people. That is the only movie on this list that is only black people.
Black love interests, black extras, black everybody. Like, absolutely.
Love that.
Yeah.
The last one we're going to talk about before we wrap it on up is Watermelon Woman. This one was interesting because I only picked this one because I saw a TikTok of like this TikToker that I follow is like a black queer movie. Like they have their own podcast. And so they recommended Watermelon Woman. And the way they made it sound, it was like going to be this movie specifically about a white woman and a black woman falling in love and like the complications that naturally come with that.
But that wasn't what it was about. At all.
It was about
it was about Faye Richardson, who was the watermelon woman or the mammy character in movies from the 20s and 30s. And they were like, you know, she basically was in a lesbian relationship with the director and
the white woman
director. And basically it's this person doing research on Faye Richards, trying to figure out who she was, the life she led, you know, her significance and things like that. But then there is the videographer. She does like get interest in this white bitch that comes into her job, and it is very like, oh yeah, hi, I'm coming in to get you. And like there's this scene where she's like trying to check out, and this white bitch is just like staring at her, and I'm like, ugh, get this bitch off the screen. This is not what I came here for.
It was not. It really was not about the relationship.
Yeah, it wasn't.
This
at
isn't
all.
even a spoiler because it's not the end of the movie. But like, nothing really goes anywhere with their relationship. They fuck.
They have sex. That's it.
And it looked good. Like the sex scene was nice.
The sex scene was nice.
It was lengthy.
You do see some nipples. And things like that, yeah.
And it was from like the early '90s. I think it was when the movie came out. So it was definitely. The cinematography was different for those, and it was interesting to see. But overall, the film was, I guess you could say, the film was about the role that black women played in cinema in the early, like, 1900s, being that mammy archetype of the caretaker for these white people. And then it also talked about this black woman falling in love with this white director that was putting her in these positions as the mammy, but then was going home and fucking her. And so you got a good like lesbian queer history. You got a little bit of black queer history, but not so much like the actual relationship content itself.
Right.
It's really just the journey that she goes through to find all the information about this person.
Yeah.
And then like a little clip of like this person and, you know, the things that they would do.
Although there is a great scene, like when the main character goes to this library, this queer library, to find more information about Faye Richards, she talks to this white librarian, and the way that all these buzzwords that we use right now, like safe space, and like
this is a safe space.
Like that's the quote. 1991. She's like, excuse me, you can't take pictures here. This is a safe space. Respect your sisters.
And it's like, a white woman. Respect your sisters.
She just kept calling this black woman sister like over and over again. That was definitely the best part of the movie. But if you're interested in black women in film, if you're interested in learning about queer history, definitely check out the movie. It's just not at all what we were watching it for, but it was interesting, and I think we learned something. Like, she talks to an older black lesbian. She does an interview, and that black lesbian woman really has some great things to say about what it was like being a black lesbian in, like, I think the 40s and the 50s. I want to say is that when she was talking about. But anyway. Those are the titles we watched, and you can find Watermelon Woman on Amazon as well. You have to get a 7-day free trial from one of those random channels, but just do it. And then you can watch Pimp by Keke Palmer, which we aren't going to talk about today because we don't have time. But you should absolutely at least watch the trailer of that movie. Like, type in Pimp on YouTube, because DMX is also in it.
Yeah, DMX plays her dad.
Yeah. DMX plays her dad. And Laurent from Twilight plays he's one of the niggas in there. He plays like the kind of the antagonist. So reasons to watch.
He does well as the antagonist too. He does well.
That movie was crazy.
It was a crazy ride. If you just want to watch a movie that's like crazy from start to finish, and you're like, bro, what the fuck is going on? Fucking go watch Pimp with Keke Palmer.
Yeah.
Go do it.
Wow. And with that, I mean, Dee, we appreciate you coming on this pod today, but do you have anything else you'd like to add? Tell us where they can find you. Tell them about ghosdee, all of that.
Yeah, you can find me pretty much anywhere on Twitter. I'm at ghosdee. That's my personal Twitter, but I tweet my music, I tweet YouTube, and I also just tweet whatever the fuck is on my brain. I'm on Instagram at ghosdee_. Also a personal account, but I post all my content there. And my YouTube channel is just ghosdee, and that's where I talk about horror movies, because I fucking love horror movies. And I'm also ghosdee on like all streaming sites. If you want to listen to music, I am a self-produced multi-instrumentalist. I'm still getting the title together because I kind of do a lot over here.
That big. Beyonce in her own realm, for real.
It's crazy because I feel that. And Beyonce was like literally the reason I decided I wanted to be an artist. I don't know what it was. I saw the independent music video, like independent women music video when I was 5, and I fell in love with Beyonce. Like literally, total hyperfixation at 5, to the point to where I went to go see her in concert. Because my dad was like, "Oh, I got these Beyonce tickets, and I know you love her." And I'm like, "Yeah,
not casual, not just casual."
Yeah,
Beyonce.
yeah. She did a show for free for the UAW workers in Michigan one year. It was crazy.
I love that.
It was like in the year she dropped her solo album, and I got to see her like tour that. It was crazy.
But she's so titled.
Yeah, and that was like before there was the Beehive. Like she was just like a pop singer transitioning into a solo career at the time. But when I tell you, I was upset. Like had the doll and everything. Like totally obsessed.
Absolutely.
So she's like, I feel like I'm in my little like self-made Beyonce era right now, and I love the connection.
I love that.
We love this for you. We'll definitely link all of her info in our bio, so you can click and subscribe to her YouTube. You can click and subscribe to her Spotify and Apple Music, so you know when all of her new music is coming out. Yes. And yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in to our first guest episode. Our first almost successful video episode.
Yes, thank you.
We did it. We did it, Joe.
We couldn't have done it without you.
Oh, thank you.
And you.
Oh, right. Forgot. There's audience. I got pointed at, so I was like, me.
It's okay. We mean you, too.
We absolutely mean, because you're also an audience member, too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I love your podcast.
Yes. Love this.
Well, thank you, guys, and we'll see